Welcome into First Pitch for Wednesday, April 19th. I am Drew Martin, joined by Teddy Covers, Bryan Leonard, and Robbie Vino of WagerTalk.com. We got big game breakdowns, best bets coming to you for the Wednesday slate here, breaking down the MLB card. Come join us in the live chat box here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. And if you're watching on replay, feel free to reply below your best bets, where you agree, where you disagree. All is welcome. Coming to Teddy Covers first here at Teddy_Covers, WagerTalkSportsMemo.com. And Teddy, I'm seeing big game breakdown here. You're off of a winner yesterday. Cubs and Athletics, a little interleague matchup here. Chicago Cubs, Oakland Athletics. We're seeing minus 155 towards the Cubs, plus 140 on the A's. What are you liking here in the Coliseum, Teddy?
What am I liking? I'm liking to fade the Oakland A's again and again and again. All right. And I want to start this by looking at last year's numbers. Last year, there were 4 teams that finished the season with fewer than 65 wins. The Washington Nationals, there was the Cincinnati Reds, there was the Pittsburgh Pirates, and there was the Oakland Athletics. All 4 of those teams finished, again, fewer than 65 wins. There was only 4. 3 of the 4 finished down double-digit units. The 4th finished down 9 units for the season. You cannot make money. It's really hard to make money in MLB betting on the very worst teams. Oakland's as bad a team as we've seen in Major League Baseball since I've been in Las Vegas. All right, what we're seeing from the A's right now, there's nothing fraudulent. Think about Tampa Bay's historic start and how the Rays are getting all this media attention and love in early season play. And Tampa's killed everybody so far. Well, the Rays for the season coming in today, I know they're leading right now, but coming into today, they're plus 75 in run. The A's are minus 76. Okay, they're worse than Tampa's been. So we're seeing a little market respect for Oakland today with Miller on the hill. Miller, their prized prospect, he just came off a start at AAA where he threw 5 perfect innings, and they said, you can't pitch any better than that. We're going to send you up to the majors. He started the season in AA, okay? He had 1 start at AAA. He pitched perfectly, and I go to the big leagues off of that start. We like to fade pitchers off a great start at the big league level, let alone at the minor league level. We're seeing love for a young hurler that I just don't see right now. And on the other side of the equation, here's a Cubs team. Markets aren't expecting much out of Chicago coming into the season. We're not seeing huge price tags attached with ace-level pitchers like Steele today, who's been dynamite in every start he's had this season. This should be minus $2. This should be minus $2.20. This should be minus $2.40. Instead, Chicago at minus 153, minus 155. I think it's a bargain. That's the way I look at the Cubs and the A's.
Good start from Teddy Covers, bat and leadoff here. Big game breakdown. Heading to Bryan Leonard up next off of 2 straight winners here. Big game breakdown. Bryan, I think we're heading to our nation's capital here with the battle for the Beltway. We get the Nationals and the Orioles. What do you like in big game breakdown here?
Yeah, I thought this was an interesting game to handicap. First of all, I really like the starting pitcher for Baltimore, Kyle Bradish. He's had injury problems. That's been a concern. He only pitched, I think, 1.2 innings, and then he got hurt. But the way I'm going to take a look at this one is a pet peeve of mine, and that's when young players rely so much on fastballs. Mackenzie Gore, we've heard about Mackenzie Gore for years, and he's had injury problems. Now he's up in the majors. Last year and this year, he's thrown 61% fastballs. Kyle Bradish is about 46% fastballs. In fact, if you take a look at Kyle Bradish's fastball from last year, if you go to Baseball Savant, they break it down to how good or how bad it was. Last year, his fastball was terrible, and yet he still throws the same percent of fastballs. It's not a small sample size, but he needs to use his auxiliary pitches. These are major league hitters. They can all hit fastballs. Unless you're up there throwing 102 miles an hour, they're going to catch up on these fastballs. neither one of these teams are your greatest offenses. Baltimore's got a legitimate offense. Washington's got some guys on this team that are decent, but anybody in the major leagues can hit fastballs. And these two guys threw out too many fastballs, if you ask me, especially from the Bradish side, because he just has not been productive in that. And Agore's got a good fastball. But if that's all you see 61% of the time, these guys are just going to wait on it. I like this game to go over. Washington's been a little bit better than what a lot of people thought coming into the season. They've got some good young players. They just haven't put it all together yet. But I like the guys on this team. I think there's going to be a team that's going to make us money as the season goes on, as long as Corbin's not on the mound for Washington. I can't believe that guy is still in the league. But I'm looking for the over here. I like both these guys from a pitching standpoint to have rough days with the fastballs. Give me major leaguers swinging at fastballs. I'll take the over here.
Bryan Leonard, guys, WagerTalk.com. Heading to Robbie Vino to clean up the big game breakdown portion of the show here, Robbie. And I think we're going with a little day action, heading out to Dodger Stadium. And we got the Mets and the Dodgers, Scherzer versus Syndergaard. Seen about minus 130 here. Mets as the road favorite, 8.5 being the total. And a little shout out to Ralph Michaels. He had a chart up. This is the first time in quite some time the Dodgers are going off as a home underdog here. Robbie Vino, what are you thinking to do with that? Take the plus price, or you think the market is telling us something here and the Metropolitans are the way to go, Robbie?
Yeah, and with the short nighttime card, Drew, we wound up with 1 day game here, so there's a little time still to get in on this. I think about an hour. I shortened it up. First 5 innings, played the Mets minus half a run plus $1 with Max Scherzer against Syndergaard. Drew, we do a lot of football together, and often when we do shows, we break down those games fundamentally. At least I do, but very rarely in baseball do we look for matchup advantages. But this one's tailor made. You have Noah Syndergaard, one of the slowest deliveries in Major League Baseball, one of the easiest pitchers to steal on in Major League Baseball. Last year, 33 stolen base attempts against him, 30 successful tries, 91% rate. This year, tried to cut down on his delivery a little bit and sacrificed velocity for it. Hasn't really worked. 3 starts for Noah Syndergaard, 6 stolen bases against him already, including Yan Gomes of the Cubs. Yan Gomes stole second base off him in the last start. Their catchers haven't caught anybody yet this year. The Dodgers don't have great arms behind the plate as far as throwing runners out at second base is concerned. And today, when you check the lineup, they're going to, I guess, desperation mode, and they're going to start Austin Wynns. Now, it could be because it's a getaway day. Austin Wynns gets the start, but it could be because they think he's got the best arm of the 3. The reason why it's important here is because I know a little something about the Mets, and they're going to run, and they're going to run. You look at the first 5 guys in their lineup today: Brandon Nimmo, Starling Marte, Francisco Lindor, Jeff McNeil. All 4 can steal bases. They're stacked inside the top 5. The Mets are top 5 in the lineup. The Mets are number 5 in Major League Baseball this season with 20 stolen bases. It's a philosophy of theirs. So I shortened this up to first 5, Drew, because Noah Syndergaard, for what it's worth this year, the only real success that he's had in 3 starts is by striking guys out. The Mets happen to be the second toughest team in Major League Baseball to strike out so far. Their strikeout percentage, 18.3, that makes them the second hardest team to K in the league. So they're going to make contact, they're going to be on, and they're going to run. And I think they can manufacture enough here to back Max Scherzer, who's in a little bit of a verbal back and forth with his old team, the Dodgers. I guess there's a couple of disgruntled Dodgers who think Scherzer should have taken the ball in the game that eliminated the Dodgers from the playoffs a couple of years back. Scherzer bears no hard feelings, but I know you don't really want to get under Max Scherzer's skin. I know he's had 8 days off between starts, but I think when you get him motivated and determined, he can give you 5 good innings. I'm going to look that way here. I think the Mets can manufacture enough. So minus a half a run plus $1 seemed to be pretty good to me. I'll take the Mets in that role here. Minus half run, first 5 innings plus $1.
All right, a little day action there, guys. 4 big game breakdown. Come join us in the live chat. Let us know what you're betting. See a bunch of guys in here. Kylie Reynolds, Wes in the house as well. Kylie asking about the White Sox here, and yeah, I had them circled actually, Kylie, for the White Sox game. But hey, it's just first pitch right now, top of the first. If you're wanting to get in live on that, Clevenger I had circled as kind of a bet on pitcher. We got Rasmussen on his 5.5 Ks. It's 7 now. Hey, they're taking a lot of. He's getting a lot of Ks anyway, but getting up and over in day action. So thanks for keeping us live there, up to date on the games during the day, guys. We're gonna hit best bets right now. That's what it's time for. But first, a little coupon code update here. Try WT at checkout if you're a first-time WagerTalk user. This will work for 50% off your order. Any daily package, 3-day package, you see it there on the screen. TRYWT at checkout. 50% off for first-time users. WagerTalk.com. Good to use on Teddy covers. Bryan Leonard, Rob Vino as well. So going to go around the horn here. Any final thoughts for the show, guys? Feel free to throw it out right now. Also getting best bets. So we'll head to Teddy covers off of that win last night. Check them out, WagerTalk or sportsmemo.com. Think we're going to the Orioles and the Nationals here, Teddy. What are you liking in this game, and any final thoughts for the show?
Yeah, Brian talked a little bit about the total for this game. I'm going to talk about the side between the Orioles and the Nationals. And much like in my big game breakdown, we talked about there's one way I'm playing A's games. I'm either fading the A's or I'm leaving the game alone. There's one way I'm playing Nationals games at home. Maybe on the road when you're catching big plus prices. They're 2-8 at home this year. That's worse than their road record. They were 26-55 at home last year. Again, worse than their road record. So whatever you think in terms of home field edge for Washington, it doesn't exist. The market's price it in, but the Nats don't play that way. You know, this team, the only games they've won are the ones where Corbin's starting when they rally from behind. The last 8, they have 2 come from behind victories in the late innings. And that's it. The offense isn't working. Shut out against yesterday. This isn't a good team. This is a fade team at every reasonable opportunity. And when you look at the other side of the equation, I don't care who's pitching for Baltimore. All right. The market's underpriced the Orioles all year last year. Didn't like their starting pitching. What are we seeing in 2023? The market's underpricing the Baltimore Orioles. They don't like their starting pitching. Well, their starting pitching was pretty good yesterday. Might well be again today. Orioles, lay it or don't play it.
Like it, Teddy covers. Staying on that theme, guys. Ride the hot, fade the cold, if you will. And this is actually one Teddy touched on. Got about an hour and a half till first pitch. I am jumping on the Chicago Cubs, guys. Going to have to pay a little bit of a price here, minus 150-ish range. But Justin Steele has thrown 6 or more innings and allowed 2 runs or fewer in each of his first 3 starts. And kind of that fade the cold here. Oakland, they've been outscored 46-19 on this 6-game losing skid. Fade the Oakland A's, guys. That's what I'm going with. Cubs, as low as minus 150. Checking out the WagerTalk live odds screen. Widely available at the minus 153 price tag right now. Again, guys, a little bit after a 3:30 Eastern first pitch. You got a little bit of time to get down on that, but hopefully you're watching live or pretty quickly after on replay. We'll throw it over to Bryan Leonard here. Check him out, WagerTalk.com. Off of 2 straight winners on the diamond. Bryan, any final thoughts for the show, and where are you heading for best bets?
Yeah, I'm my 2 best plays for clients were in early action. So we've got a limited card for today, but I'm going to take a look at the Atlanta Braves here at San Diego. You've talked hot and cold. Can't get much colder than the San Diego Padres. This offense, despite some quality bats in this offense, they continue to struggle. Juan Soto, if you take a look at his StatCast numbers, he's the same Juan Soto. But if you take a look at his actual outputs, he's been really struggling this year in that regard. I think it's just a blip on the radar, just a luck factor. But since they traded for him, this offense has not been very good. And he was arguably the best hitter in baseball before they got him. I don't understand it. Atlanta has done whatever they wanted in this series so far, and they've got the better starter on the mound today in Morton. Line's cheap. Atlanta's a team that has proven to me that they're a contender. San Diego, a team that everybody thought was going to pass up the Dodgers, be the team to beat. in the NL West. They just had not done it from an offensive standpoint. Joe Musgrove will be back from a starter standpoint on Saturday. But right now, I'm fading San Diego.
Fade the Pods from Bryan Leonard. And guys, you saw it right there. We got the NBA tip-off show, playoff edition, 4:15 Eastern. Bryan Leonard, Teddy Covers, Rob Vino, all with NBA success as well as on the bases. Robbie Vino, if you could finish it off here for best bets. Any final thoughts for the show? Where are we heading for best bets, Rob?
Yeah, real quick, I will mention that Major League Baseball season has been profitable to date, Drew, up about 9.5 units of profit. Very, very selective thus far. Only 25 plays on the young season, 60% win rate. You can do the math from there. We'll look to add to those profits here this evening. I'm not going to complicate it, but let me say this. Is it possible? Well, I guess it is, because I'm going to talk about a game where it's possible to have ride the hot, fade the cold in two different, on both teams in the same game. If you look at Minnesota, they've lost 3 in a row after winning 4 straight. That would kind of make them cold at this point in time. Boston won 4 out of their last 5. That would make them hot. However, if I go to starting pitching, guys, ride the hot is ride Joe Ryan. 3 starts this year that have been dominant. And fade the cold is Corey Kluber, who hasn't won a game, or at least Boston hasn't won a game that he started yet this season. Joe Ryan's early dominance, and again, as I said at the start, I'm not going to complicate this. I'm just going to take the better pitcher by far over the course of the first 5 innings here. We'll lay $1.35 with Joe Ryan in that instance. 3 starts, Yankees, Houston, and KC, 19 innings pitched, basically 6 2/3 a start. Only 9 hits allowed. Better than that, only 12 base runners allowed by Joe Ryan in 19 innings so far. 26 Ks, 3 walks, almost a 9-to-1 ratio. That's tremendous. He has allowed a home run in each of those 3 games, which is a slight concern here when you're playing first 5 innings. But I think that his offense will be able to do enough against Corey Kluber, who's been touched up in 2 of his 3 starts. The one solid outing was against the Pittsburgh Pirates. But the other 2 against offenses that I would say Minnesota could at least be ranked up or in the same discussion with, Tampa Bay and Baltimore. Corey Kluber gives up 10 hits and 5 walks in only 8 innings. His ERA in those 2 games, 8.00. His whip, 1.88. Boston has trailed after 5 innings in every single one of Kluber's starts. He's been losing 8-2, 1-0, and of course 8-3 in his last start against Tampa, where he took a 3-1 lead into the bottom of the 5th. And Tampa came up with 7 runs in the bottom of the 5th. So Kluber, somebody on the panel here, either Bryan or Teddy, mentioned Baseball Savant. I know an analytics site that almost all of us use. If you go to Baseball Savant and just look at what Corey Kluber's done so far this season in the 13 categories that they keep, which include velocity, chase, and spin, he's below average in 9 of those 13 categories. The other guy, Joe Ryan, he's above average, well above average in 9 of the 13. So again, the pitching mismatch to me here from a starting perspective is huge, and I'll play it, guys. I didn't want to get involved with bullpens. It was an extra inning game last night. I know a couple of guys Minnesota threw out there didn't make it to the 20 pitch mark, which I usually use as a gauge, but again, I don't want to test it in the late innings against Boston. So give me first 5 innings, Minnesota with Joe Ryan, money line minus $1.35.
Like it, Rob. Good end there. 2 best bets. And you saw it in the lower third, guys, which we'll get to in a second. Best bet recap here. Chicago Cubs minus 153. Fade the A's, guys. That's the theme I'm going with. Teddy Covers, Baltimore, minus 140. Bryan Leonard on the Braves, minus 115. And Robbie Vino, Minnesota first 5, minus 135. So we're going with little favorites here, guys. Laying a little bit of juice. And hopefully 3-1, if not 4-0. So feel free to comment below, guys. If you're liking the Yankees to bounce back, do have a stat for you with the Angels and the Yankees here. Yankees have won or split each of their first 5 series. They're 4-0-1 for just the 4th time in the last 60 years. They'll need a win today, actually tonight, to keep the streak alive. So let us know below in the reply section if you think they are able to bounce back from the Ohtani and Angels loss last night. So I'm Drew Martin. Check out Teddy Covers, Bryan Leonard, Robbie Vino, WagerTalk.com. That's going to do it for the show. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Come back and join us. Feel free to reply below. Thanks to the chat. Smash that like button. Cash those tickets, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.